If you are watching right now, this is the replay. We are no longer live, but welcome. It is Friday. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Today I'm going to be making the Aries bag. This is by Knotted Threads Co. That's the name of the designer of the pattern. I'm gonna wait for a couple of my TikTok friends to jump on and then we're gonna jump right in. I don't know why it gets so dark in the background as soon as I go live, but it's like really light when I jump on. Hello! Happy Friday! I'm gonna just start prepping my zipper. I add a zipper to this pattern. I change it up just a tiny bit. And I'll tell you all of the modifications that I make for it. Hi, So Girl! Happy Friday. I'm going to start by flaring out my zipper. I cut the zipper 12.5 inches. This is for the zipper closure. Hi JC, Frenchie from Ohio. I'm going to be in Ohio next week. We're going to go visit my husband's mom. So I'm just folding it over and then pulling up the back to give it a nice arch at the end. Hey Deanie, how are you? Remind me a little bit later to update you about the members only live. I'm from Ohio. What part are you going to? We're going to Dayton. That's where his mom lives. What's the weather like out there now? But it's cold. But then again, it's like 50 degrees outside here. I'm great, just done work for the weekend. Done with work for the weekend? I'm from the Mansfield area. I'm not too familiar with Ohio, I'm sorry. Hi, Red Taz. Oh. Alright, let me trim this up a little bit. Hit it with my lighter. I'll show you. So that is what it looks like, just flared out at the end. And then now I'm going to grab my zipper panel pieces. This is not a custom order, this is a restock, which is why I'm just kind of jumping into it. Yeah, I only work 7:30 to 1. Oh, nice. That's a great schedule. Hey, Nancy Bear. Alina, this is a Juki 1181. Shaw Shape Redemption. Maybe we should shop that. Oh, cool. Okay, so this is a modification that I make to this bag. This is the bag that we are making, the Aries. I think it's called Aries Crossbody bag. Or maybe that's just what I named it on my website. The pattern is by Knotted Threads Co. It's a super cute little shoulder bag. All of mine come with a removable shoulder strap as well as a crossbody strap. Hi, Freckled Finger Studio. That's a cute name. So right now I'm working on the zipper panel closure, which is a modification that I added. So I cut the zipper, what did I say, 12.5 inches, and then the zipper panel pieces are 1.5 by 8, and I just cut 4 of those. Thanks, Amina. I'm going to take 2 of them, wrong side up, add a piece of double-sided tape along the edge of one side. I leave about 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch of space because that's where I'm going to be stitching and I do not want to sew over my tape. So that is what it looks like. So we got I would say 1/4 inch here, here, and here because that's where I'm going to be sewing. Just wanted to check. Knotted Threads call it Aries Crossbody. Okay, good. Thanks, Deanie. You're the best. All right, I'm going to take the double tape, the backing of the tape off. Line that up with the edge that I just curved. Press that tape in and then do the same thing on the other side. Hello, how are you? Hi, Christy. I'm good. It's Friday. And tonight is pizza night. I've been craving pizza for some reason all week long. My husband's birthday was this week, so we ate out at a different place. And so I was like, tonight we have to get pizza. So I'm great. It's pizza night. And we found this place not far up the road. It's called Paisano's, and it's like authentic pizza. It's technically Saturday here. Oh, okay. So then you're doing good too, because you're already in the weekend. Friday is usually our pizza night too. That's awesome, Christy. We usually have Taco Tuesday, and then like every other week we'll do a pizza. Okay, so I just have this taped in, and then now we're going to go ahead and sew it down. So we're going to sew along the short, along the long end closest to the zipper, and then along this edge. We don't need to sew these parts down because they're going to be sewn into our bag later. I should be sleeping. Oh, okay, so it's super early in the morning for you. Thanks, Anna. I actually got this from Old Navy a few years ago. Hey, Stacy. All right, let me get everything set up. I was sewing something a little bit differently earlier, so my stitch length and tension is all messed up. I'm working on a new pattern, and I said I wasn't gonna say anything, but I'm so excited. I'm making the Aries crossbody bag by Knotted Threads today. Hey, Carla. I said I wasn't gonna say anything, but I'm so excited. It won't be available for like 2 weeks. I would consider this a seasonal item, so it is not a bag, but I was doing some online shopping the other day, and I saw something, I was like, I can make that, and it's adorable, and I'm going to make one for everybody in my family for Christmas. But it's good for women, men. I wish I had like a kid, or I knew kid sizes, because I would make a pattern for kids, but it'll come in 2 sizes, like regular and then large. Super easy, domestic sewing machine friendly, beginner pattern for sure. You need a 1/4 yard of fabric, and then just 1 piece of hardware. Super easy. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'm so excited. So what I'm going to do this weekend, I should be able to write the pattern up, because again, it's a really easy pattern. I'll have my tester. So I'm leaving town on Wednesday next week. So I'm going to have it to my testers by Monday, give them the week to make it and test out the pattern, make sure I don't need to make any changes, and then it should be available the very next week. When do we get a sneak peek? After my testers have tested it. Hey, Elle. And that's why I didn't want to say anything today, because I know people are going to be like, oh, what a tease. And I don't want to be a tease, but I just couldn't help myself. So I'm sorry. But I'm so excited about this. I actually started it yesterday. And then last night, I literally worked until almost 8 o'clock just making more of them, because they came together so fast. So anyways, that's on the horizon. This pattern, or no. So the new pattern coming out, I actually haven't even named it yet. The bag that I'm making today is the Aries bag. This is actually going to be in a wolf's print. So this is just a restock for my website. So this is the front and the back of the bag, what it's going to look like. It's going to have a dark gray coordinating vinyl. And then this is the interior lining. It's going to have a shoulder strap. And then this is going to be the crossbody strap. Hey, Susie. I have a list of different bags I want to make, right? Same. There's so much that I want to do. If there were 10 more hours in the day, I could get through my custom orders, my restocks, and make new bags. All the bags I've done so far are self-dry. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, if you sew long enough and you do different types of bags, all you really need to do is learn different techniques. Like, for example, sewing a zipper is a technique, sewing a shoulder strap is a technique. And then after you've done it for so long, you can kind of piece the pieces together to kind of create your own pattern. I will say the biggest difference between reading a pattern and making somebody else's and creating your own is math. You need to be good at math. Hey, Brenda. I can enjoy my lunch. Ah! All right, so here's what the zipper panel looks like all sewed up. We're gonna go ahead and add our zipper end. So remember how I said I cut the zipper 12.5 inches long? I am going to leave a 2.5 inch length tail. So this is 2.5 inches. I'm gonna hit it with my lighter and then I'm gonna add the zipper, the zipper end. The zipper end is 2 inches by 1.5. I'm gonna add a piece of double-sided tape along each short side. That's just gonna hold it in place. You could also just clip it in place. Thanks, Celtic. Don't tell anybody about the new pattern though. So normally I draw a line down the center, which I did not do. So it's 2 inches. I'm just going to draw a line 1 inch in. I'm going to have my zipper facing down and then I'm going to butt it just short of that line, pressed into the tape, and then fold the other piece over and line up the edges, and then we'll sew just a rectangle. That's what it looks like. I'm not going to clip my ends when I start and stop. Instead, I'm actually going to sew over where I started just to kind of lock those stitches in place. Does anybody have anything interesting going on this weekend? There. So that is what the zipper end looks like. We're going to mark the center on the top. So it's 8 inches. We're going to mark at the 4 inch line. I can give out these measurements because this is a modification that I made. All right, next we need to go ahead and prep our pieces. So this bag is finished it's a drop-in lining. And the pattern tells you exactly where to mark all of these. I cannot give that information because it's in the pattern. But what I do, the pattern piece has a straight side on both edges. I measure down what the pattern tells me to do on both sides, and I have made myself a plastic pattern. I'm going to go ahead and line that up. So instead of measuring down, I think it tells you to measure down all along and then connect it. Instead of doing that, I can just connect it with my pattern piece. Let's see, I'm spending my birthday helping my mom-in-law since she had no replacement service. That's so sweet of you. We've had so much rain on my scalp. Oh no, Erica. I'm doing a craft fair tomorrow. Oh, fun. Yeah, it's going to be cold. It's my birthday weekend. Happy birthday, October girly. Going to a concert. Whose concert? Football game tonight, Saturday hunt. Oh, fun. Alright, so I'm going to do that on this piece as well. So we just measure down along the short edges. Use our pattern piece to connect them. We have hockey games Friday and Saturday night. That sounds like fun. I had an uncle who used to love hockey. I was never able to get into it though. I'm vending at craft fair. A local band. Okay, that's an interesting name. Are they like girls? I would assume they're girls, yeah. Home renovations. How Hi, Barb. So these are the accent pieces for the inside, and we're going to do the exact same thing as far as marking those as well. I usually have this done before I start my video, but I just kind of wanted to show everybody. Hey, Sherry. Good afternoon. All right, couple more pieces. This is the Gusset. Finishing my craft room. Everything is everywhere. Father, daughter, and couple friends. Very eclectic. Okay. Sounds like it. Hubby's choice. Hey, Cindy, you made it. And I just started not too long ago. All right, and then the last two pieces are uh-oh, where are they? Oh, okay, there. All right, let's go ahead. After this, let's do our zipper pocket for the outside. I added this as well. Kind of glad it's the last show. That's funny. Okay, so on this bag, I added a zipper pocket to the back. There is a zipper overlay. This pattern is free on my website. You can get it. It is 8 inches long. And so I'm not sure what the actual pattern is on my website, but if you need to increase it or decrease it, you can just cut it down the middle, add an inch, or reduce it however you want to. All right. What are you making, Cindy? I'm making the Aries crossbody bag. I'm just gonna get my iron warming up. Sherry, that's a spectacular. What is it, Deanie? Or Sherry? All right, so my zipper pocket pieces are 9 inches by 7 inches. And then the zipper is 9 inches. Red Sky. I'm trying to get this lined up by the very top. I might have a delivery while I'm on live and I have to sign for it, so I might have to jump up for a minute. We'll call that intermission. All right, let's open this up and iron it down. I like to do it on the front and the back. It just helps everything lay really nicely. And then we'll add our zipper. Cool. I remembered to turn off my air purifier before I came live. There we are. So that's our zipper pocket. We're going to set that aside. And then I'm going to mark the bottom, center. Hey, Mina. And then the interior, we're going to mark the top and bottom. I should have did this before I came live just to save a little time. This is such a fun pattern. There's so many different ways. I think she even added on an add-on for like different ways that you can make it, but there's so many different ways that you can make this bag. I've simplified this one and then added a few things. I thought it was just the perfect size for like, you know, a little bag that you carry right underneath your armpit. To go like, I don't know, date, dinner, somewhere where you don't have to lug a whole lot of stuff around. Okay, doke. Let me get my zipper overlay. Do you have a Colette handbag behind you that I could see? Yeah. It's considered a bowler bag because of the shape of it, but mine come with double pulls, so you can open it up and just get into the top, or you can open it all the way down the sides. And it opens up nice and wide. But mine have a zipper pocket and a slip pocket. And a nice long shoulder straps. Hey Deborah. You're welcome. Thanks, CJ. Alright, so I'm going to put 1/4 inch double-sided tape along the edges. That's going to hold it in place while I sew down. And then let me see how far down. It's been a while since I've made this bag. Probably an inch. Yeah. We'll go an inch down from the lowest part of the curve. And then center it. Tape stuck down before I was ready. There we go. Some sticky tape. There we go. All right, so that's just taped in place. The first step is going to be to sew all the way around the outside. To just manually go around the curves. I'm going to pull my thread through the back so I can knot it off. Yeah, my favorite show is on. Hey. Hey Judy, happy Friday. My threads so I don't accidentally sew over those. Pull my thread through again and then knot it off. Remember how we were talking about that sweatshirt with the reverse applique? I went to Hobby Lobby a couple of days ago. I found a sweatshirt, I bought it. I just haven't had a chance to make it. So yesterday was kind of my, I don't want to call it a chill day because I worked like 10 hours yesterday. But I give myself a day to do something a little bit differently. And instead of doing like the sweatshirt, I went ahead and created what we talked about earlier. So I have the stuff to make the sweatshirt and I'm going to do it hopefully this weekend. Are you used to the time change now? Yes. I know, I'm so excited to make it. I bought some stencils, even though I think for this project you could probably use like cardstock and print out some stencils yourself so you don't have to buy any. But since I was there, and I think it was like $5 for like 3 different sizes, I just bought them. I knew it would make my life so much easier. But now I have to decide what I want to put on my shirt. Are you going to make it live? I wasn't planning on it. I might make a TikTok, like make a video and post it to TikTok so I can show you guys what I can do. That way you can go back and watch it to see if you wanted to do it as well. All right, so that's where our zipper pocket is going to sit. I'm gonna add some double-sided tape to hold it in place and then sew it down. Yes, okay. But I actually got a hoodie. They had some just like a regular sweatshirt, but like it's been so cold. I don't think I expected it to get this cold this fast, but I feel like it was just overnight where it went from like 80 degrees outside to 50, and I am freezing. All right, this is the pocket that we made earlier, so we're just going to center our zipper to this opening and then sew it in place. And the double-sided tape is just going to hold everything. Make sure I got clearance on both sides. I do. Press it into the tape. There we go. And then now I'm just going to sew within the little small box. It's not like that in New York too. It's been that way in Washington. Sounds like New Hampshire. I guess it's happening everywhere. I wish there was had a pocket, either interior, to make it or to purchase one. Because if you want to purchase one for me with a pocket, you can do a custom order and I can add one. And if you're talking about making it, you can just look up how to make a pocket and add it. Oh, the rest let you purchase Tennessee. We're in the 40s in the morning. I know it's freezing, right? Like out of nowhere. My poor dogs, I just got them haircuts a couple weeks ago. And they're in there like freezing. I had to put so we have a sliding glass door off our kitchen. And they have a really big plush bed. And so I actually opened up the blinds yesterday and I moved their bed right in front of that door because the afternoon sunlight comes in there. And they were in there baking all afternoon, just trying to warm up, poor things. Good morning, I just happened to scroll up. Here I am. Makes me really hurt. Oh no, I bet the cold. 20s overnight in Minnesota. Oh my gosh. I just got home and seen your live. Hey Claire. I follow you but never get notifications when you're live. So somebody told me that if you're on TikTok already and I go live, then you don't get the notification. I guess they only notify you if you're not on the TikTok platform. I don't know if that's the case or not. That's just what people have told me. I'm in Canada. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's cold there. What's my TikTok name? Butterbags? All right, so with our pocket still open like that, we're going to trim the bottom pocket flush with the back. Doing a lot better. Yeah. Did anyone get snow yet? We haven't. And then all I'm doing is pulling the top down to meet that line. And then we're just going to clip it in place. We're going to sew along the short side, bottom, and then back up the short side. Cincinnati did? How long ago did that happen? trim some of this excess fabric off. My pocket puckers just a tiny bit on the bottom, and that's because this is a heavy duty sewing machine and I'm just sewing 2 layers of cotton with no interfacing or anything. So even though I dial my tension far down, sometimes it'll still pucker. It's not going to affect the use of the pocket though. There we are. We're not making the Kiana, we're making the Aries crossbody bag. All right, so our pocket is all done. Did I close it shut? I did. This is what it looks like all done. So this is going to be the back of the bag. And then the front of the bag is just going to have my name tape on it. Oh, hold on a second. Let me just double check and make sure that's right. Sometimes I put my name tape on it and sometimes I don't. And this one does. So I just grab name tape. I'll go ahead and center down. I do it right here in the middle since there's no print. Alright. A little screw came off. Oh, I was looking at it. Let's try that again. There's your delivery. Thanks, Erica. Going to be for more fabrics for retail. No. No, sorry. I got a few orders for fabric. I didn't get a ton, so I'm not really sure if that's the lane that I need to be in. So I'm not planning on ordering anymore anytime soon. Like I said when I first started selling them, it really just depends on demand. Go down just 1 more 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to use my seam ripper to poke those holes out. Do you have any sewing themed bags? I don't. I'm sorry. Ugh. All right, so this is going to be the front of the bag. And this is going to be the back of the bag. Let's go ahead and add the gusset. So if you're not familiar with sewing or never seen this bag before, we got the front and the back of the bag, right? And then the piece of fabric that goes down the middle that creates the depth to it is called a gusset, which is going to be this piece right here. So we can go ahead and add that. So remember where I made a mark on the center of the bottom? I'm going to match up the center of this gusset, clip it in place, and then we'll sew it down. Oh, thanks for blocking them. What a weirdo. Alright, so I like to do the straight waist first, and then we'll do the curves. So this line, I think we talked about it a little bit at the beginning. This bag is a drop-in. So that means that you finish the inside, you finish the outside, and then you literally drop the inside into the outside and then sew it up. So you know how most of the time when we sew it inside out and then we turn it right side out? This is gonna have a finished edge. I'm gonna add some staples to the curves just to make it a little easier to sew. And what this line is going to tell us where we need to fold over our edge to make this a finished bag. So we're going to have a finished edge all the way around the top for the inside and outside. Faux leather or vinyl? So those words can be used interchangeably. This is a vinyl or a faux leather. Oh, sorry. I don't know if she was answering somebody. And then once we're done sewing, we're just going to remove the staples. Staple remover. Get my tension back right. So the straightaways are really easy to sew, but when you get to the curves, sometimes it's a little tougher and you have to remove the clips to sew them together. So if you add staples on there, you don't need any clips, and those two pieces of fabric stay together when you're sewing and you don't have to worry about them, excuse me, shifting. I never use staples, but yeah. I mean, I've learned it from someone else, so it wasn't like something I thought about. When I found out about it, I was like, duh, why aren't I doing that already? All right, so the front is attached to the gusset. Now we're going to add the back to it. So I'm just going to clip up my pocket so I don't accidentally sew that down. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start by lining up the straight long bottom, the straight sides, and then we're going to add some staples to the corners. And then once we finish sewing this side, we're going to take the staples out of both sides. Some bag makers put the outside into the lining for a drop-in. Is there a reason or a preference? I think it's just preference. So any bag that you can sew inside out could also be finished with as a drop line, using a drop lining. And all you have to do is just finish the top, finish the bottom, or I'm sorry, finish the exterior, finish the interior, and then just sew them together. So I would say one reason why you would choose a drop lining over sewing it inside out and then turning it right side out is the lack of wrinkles that you get, because the bag is just literally, the inside is literally just placed into the outside. You sew up the top and then you're done. You don't have to turn it right side out through that pocket or however you birth that bag. So that would be one positive of using a drop-in opposed to sewing it together. All right, got my stapler. I had two of my Aries sell the day before yesterday, and so when I was doing some prep work yesterday, I was like, definitely need to restock some of these. So I have this one being restocked today, and then I have a We the People that is already cut out, and I'm going to restock that later. All right, excuse me. Let's grab just a pop trap. First time watching you. This is beautiful. Thanks. Thanks for hanging out. Water break, I know. All right, done. Oh, all right, got that. Okay, let's take out our staples. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I want to make sure I take out 12. You do not want to leave a staple in. If your customer accidentally hooks themselves on one, it's definitely a liability. Excuse me. Heard, how often do you come up with new designs? I never watched her before, but have heard of her. Oh, thanks, Princess Area. Can the staples break the needle if you sew over them? But let me show you. See where the staples are and see where my stitch line is, so I'm not actually sewing over. If you put your staples outside of your stitch line, you don't have to worry about that. How often do you come up with new patterns? Maybe 2 or 3 times a year. Hi Dina, I've been checking the site and not finding you live. Welcome if you're new. Thanks for hanging out. Alright, this side is done. And let me count my staples on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I do about 6 per corner. Good morning, user 17704. Is that Gladys? What's the name of my machine? It's a Juki 1181. Hi, Diana. Oh, Gladys. I figured it was you, Gladys. Alright, after I get these staples out, that's all that we have to do for the outside, so I'm going to set this aside and then we'll work on the interior. We already did our zipper closure. And so we're just putting all the rest of the pieces together. So that's what it looks like. Actually, let me go ahead and sew my seam open on the side. That way, when we, remember how I told you that we're going to fold this over? Making that edge flat is just going to make it so much easier. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sew it open. Is it necessary? No, because I'm gonna be adding double-sided tape when I fold it down, and you can just push that into the tape, but I think it's just a habit for me, so I'm just gonna do it. Can't find rectangular rings anywhere. My town had to order them. If you're going to replace your 1181, would you buy the same one? I would buy the same thing. My sewing machine actually got damaged. I just moved from Hawaii to Virginia and it got damaged, and I was on the verge of buying another one, and I would have bought another 1181. Hi, Jerlinda. There we go. So that's what it looks like, just sewn open flat. All right, set these aside. Now on the interior, I do add a card pocket. And this is, I'm going to tell you how to make it. It's so easy. It's 4 inches by 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. So 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. All you do is cut yourself out a rectangle. Go in 1 inch. So if you just measure in 1 inch, make a little mark, measure in 1 inch, make a mark, find something round. I think I use this. Connect those 2 little marks that you made, and then cut out your place. It's like a little thumb place that you can grab your cards out really fast, and you can make that. So 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. Is that what I said? 1 inch in on the top, 1 inch in on the top. Find yourself something circular to match those 2 marks, and then you got yourself this little pocket. And then I'm just going to sew it on the inside lining. They were able to fix the damage, yes. Are you glad to be stateside again? Absolutely. I can't tell if you see my question or not. Tink, I must have missed it. I don't see it. Nothing in might be filtered. Thanks, Danny. If I miss it, do you mind just pinning it for me, please? All right, let's add a little piece of double-sided tape just to hold this in place while we sew it. Now, I promise I'm not purposely ignoring anybody. I'm going to go down, let's go down 1.25 inches, see what that looks like. And then center it. Let's go down 1 inch. I like that better. All right, hold that tape down, and then we're gonna just sew it in place. So we're just gonna sew along the short end, long bottom, back up the short side. I'm being CES for sewing. I don't know what that means. Oh, since I was watching somebody sew live one time, and I asked a question about I think the length of the webbing that she was using, and TikTok filtered it. So it could be anything. There we are. So perfect size for credit cards, IDs, and it will hold multiple. And because we have this little slip on the top, you can just, it's easier to get in and out than if you had like just a rectangle. And you could, it'll hold multiple cards. So, and cash. And you can literally add this to any bag. I like it because for like smaller bags, like a crossbody or this bag, you don't need a lot of material, you don't need a lot of space, but it's still very usable for your customer. Do you cut out patterns or use like a Cricut? I cut it out. I use a rotary cutter and a mat. All right, so next what we're going to do is add the top accent piece like that. So that's what the inside of the bag is going to look like. Very pretty. I love this pattern. The zipper is going to be sewn in between these. So remember how I said that I marked the center of the top of my zipper. I marked the top of my pattern. I'm going to line those up. And then we're going to take our top accent piece and make that right side together and sew all three. Thanks, June. I used to have a really good friend named June. And I had to move. Not sure what I said before. Who knows? Alright, now we're going to open that up and we are going to do a top stitch. So that's why I was kind of deciding where I wanted to put this, because I knew, excuse me, I was going to lose a little bit when I sewed this together, but it's perfect. And then we're going to do the exact same thing for the other interior side. I've been censored before for the word cat. That's crazy. All right, so again, we're going to take our interior piece. We're going to match up our center marks. And then at this point, you can go ahead and base this in place by just stitching this down if you don't want to sew all three of them at the same time, or you could just line this up. Sew it down. Alright, we're going to open that up again and then do a top stitch. The sad thing is that it was just on the statue. Yeah, with some of the stuff that I've seen on TikTok, I'm shocked that the most innocent stuff gets censored. All right, so here's what the interior is looking like right now with our zipper panel at the top. And then remember that gusset that we had for the outside, we're gonna do the exact same thing for the inside. And then we're gonna add an accent piece to the top, just like we did the inside lining. So it'll look like this. So we'll have the dark gray accent all the way around the top of the bag for the inside. And I'm just gonna flip up the other side, sew it together. Nice thing about TikTok is we all become friends, yes. Yes, I've met so many great people through TikTok. So many. All right, so now we're going to open this up and we're going to do a top stitch just like we did for the interior. All right. And then now we're going to go ahead and add our gusset to the interior lining. So just like before, we're going to match the center of the gusset to the bottom center of the lining. Clip that in place. Now instead of using staples, because this is cotton fabric, I'm going to use pins. You cannot use pins on vinyl because once you poke a hole through vinyl, it stays. It does not come out. But with cotton, because of the weave of the fabric, you won't even tell that there was a pin there. I'm considering trying some bag making but don't have a machine. So that, yeah, sometimes it's about the material that you use. So if you use cotton material for the outside, you could absolutely use a domestic sewing machine. Have you ever done an astronaut video? Beth, are you being serious? Not astronaut, ASMR. I was like, what? Can't be serious. Yeah, I have. So like, especially, mine will do denim, but it struggles. Like especially like, so I used to, before I moved, when I had a schedule, I would go live twice a week. And then sometimes when I had just a little bit extra time or somebody wanted me to go live, I would go live and I would sit the camera at an angle going down here. So you wouldn't be able to see my face. You could only see what I'm sewing. And I don't do any talking. You literally just see me work. And that would just be to give people content without having to go and do my hair and makeup before I sit in front of a camera. But yes, I have done astronaut videos. All right, so just a couple of pins to keep those pieces together, and then we shall sew. Deb Butterbag is just the name of my business. What is a butterbag? Feel like I'm either getting sick or my allergies are getting to me, which I hope is not the case. My husband just started feeling better not too long ago. He got sick and I had to quarantine him. It was nice meeting you all, but I have to get some stuff done. Bye, Aria. Thanks for hanging out. All right, so we have the gusset attached to one side of the lining, and then we're going to do the same thing over here. And then we're just going to put the inside and outside together and sew it around the top. This region is getting cold weather, so it's not just it. Yeah, my niece actually, she's in the hospital. She has asthma, but she got COVID and it triggered something with her asthma. She got admitted to the hospital last night and she's still in there today. So I know there's some nastiness going around. My oldest daughter has bronchitis because my oldest was sick. Church service were canceled here for a few weeks. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I'm doing my nails while watching you. I hope. Thanks, Deborah. I think the last time I talked to my sister, she said that she's definitely doing a little bit better. So they were talking about putting her on a like intubation. But she said that she got on a BiPAP machine. I don't know what that is. And it seems to be working, so that's good. Thanks, guys. But yeah, there's some nastiness going around for sure. Pressured air. Oh no, my fingers were on the wrong case. Did I get my ultrasound? Yes, I did. I did. Which, so I'm not the kind of person that typically freaks out very easily. My sister had thyroid cancer. She had to get her thyroid removed a few years ago. And about 2 years ago, they found a nodule on my thyroid. They biopsied it. It was not cancerous. And then a year later, they biopsied it again, and it was still not cancerous. But when I had my ultrasound the other day, they found a second nodule on the right side of my thyroid. So I'm sure everything will be okay. I'm not worried about it. The only thing that sticks in the back of my mind is that my sister had thyroid cancer. But I'm not freaked out. I know whatever's going to happen is going to happen. God has a plan for everything. I'm not worried at all. BiPAP offers 2 levels of air pressure for inhalation and exhalation. I had it a couple weeks ago. It's still stuffy. So, I'm waiting for my doctor. Still hasn't gotten the results from the ultrasound. And once he does, I'm sure he'll just schedule me for another biopsy. My sister also had her thyroid out. Did she have cancer as well? So, I mean, apparently, and I didn't know this until my sister was going through it, thyroid cancer is actually very, unfortunately, common. And it's usually, I think she said it has the highest odds for cancer. So that's why I'm not really stressed out about it, because if it were to happen, I already know what to expect. Such a great attitude to take. That will help you. Thanks. The only crappy thing is that if you have to have your thyroid taken out, you have to take medicine for the rest of your life. And I'm not like anti-medicine, but I enjoy being healthy and not having to take any medicine. So my sister had a part of her thyroid removed too. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty common. All right, I'm just sewing up in those sides just like I did to the exterior. Arthritis girl on thyroid meds, yeah. I can feel it. I don't think you can see it. So my left one, this is the one that I've had for years. And then he said that there's a new one over here on the right side. But I can feel it. But like I said, the one on the left is not cancerous. I've already had that test multiple times. I have to take it every day. I just had the echo left lung removed for cancer. Oh my goodness. That's awesome, Pat. That you caught it early, not that you have cancer. Okay, so our inside is all done. Remember, we got a pocket. We have a zipper closure. I have radiation from my thyroid to kill it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't want to think about that. It's the only way to get through life. Just live. Yes, exactly. You can't change it anyways. All right, so remember how I said this is a drop-in lining. So we're literally going to drop the interior into the exterior. Let me turn, before I turn this right side out, hold on. So we want to have a finished edge on our bag. So right now it's just a raw edge. And once we fold this over, we'll get that nice pretty finished edge. So that's what we're going to do now. So I'm going to take some double-sided tape. I'm going to just put it right along the top of that line. I don't think I need this. 1/4 inch is fine. That'll be okay. Just have to take meds every day. Yeah. All right. God has a plan for us all. Is to be a nuisance to my husband. Same. Same. And I love that job. I love being a nuisance to my husband. So I'm just putting the tape right above that line. That way, when I fold over the top, it's going to hold it down while I'm sewing. And remember how I said you don't have to sew open the sides. You can just use the tape. I just like to keep that stress point opened. All right, back to the beginning. Now, this is why I said I didn't want to turn this right side out yet. While this is inside out, I'm going to go ahead and add the tape. My tape doesn't stick it closed. Oh, really? Do you use the wall back tape? Because that is some sticky stuff. Amazon, yeah. Wow Whack is the best double-sided sticky tape I've ever used. This one right here is from Amazon, so here's the difference. You can kind of tell. The darker color is from Wow Whack. This one is from Amazon. I like to use this, like, I don't know if you noticed, when I did the credit card pocket for the interior, I used the tape from Amazon because I don't want it super sticky, especially because it's not like a double stitch line, and I don't want any credit cards like sticking to it if the tape accidentally got through the stitching, if that makes sense. When you get a chance, go to see the brown bag that's behind you to your right shoulder. My right shoulder. The coffee one? Yeah, let me wrap this up, or let me sew these together and then I'll pull it for you. All right, so let's turn this right side out. What the outside of our bag is going to look like. I'm going to take off the backing of the tape. And then I'm just going to, I start with the corners where the seam is right here. And I like to add a clip just along those seams. Same thing over here, and then I'll just fold all the rest of the way. There we go. That double-sided tape is absolutely amazing. And if your tape just doesn't hold it down, just add clips along the way. I mean, you can use tape and clips if you want. Nobody will tell you no. There we go. Sorry for the other brown bag. One inside the cubby. Yeah, give me a second, and then I'll have you point me. What stabilizer do you use? So for my lining, I use a woven interfacing, SF101. Wow Whack has a really great woven interfacing that I use. And then for the outside of this particular bag, I don't use stabilizer. But I use a lot of different types of stabilizer. It really just depends on the bag that I'm making or what I'm trying to accomplish. But the lining of all of my bags, I use woven. right, so we're going to do the exact same thing to the outside or the inside. Just fold that, press it into the tape just like that. And then again, because this creates a finished edge to the lining and the outside, our bag is done. All we have to do is tuck it inside. I want to make sure that my zipper pulls are opening the same way. And then now I'm going to start with the side seam for the inside and the outside. Make sure that they match up. What are the lines that you made on the bags for? The lines at the top? That was to show me how far to fold over. This just kind of gives you a little starting place. And then we'll just clip everything else together. You're welcome. The pattern tells you exactly how far to measure down. Alright, so that side is done. We're going to do the same thing with the other side. And then we're going to sew. I have not seen Just Mammy. Has anybody seen her pop in? I don't know if I missed her or not. Alright, that lining down in. So we've got our inside and outside clipped together. Remember, we have that finished edge because we folded it down for the inside and the outside. And so now all we do is just sew around the top and the bag is done. All I have to do left is make the attachments for the shoulder strap, and the crossbody strap. Are you liking the new place? No. I don't like Northern Virginia at all. I'm from Hampton Roads, which is the southern part of the Virginia. Love that. I don't really care so much for Northern Virginia. The strap holder, this is the bag when it's done. The strap holder goes along the side of the gusset. So I'm only saying that to say when I start and stop, because I'm going to back stitch, I like to start and stop on one of my sides. That way that start and stop back stitch is going to be covered up with our holder, our shoulder holder. Thanks, Diana. It's okay. Me too, born in Hampton General. Yeah, I loved Hampton Roads. Not so much up here. It's a little bit different. But we're not here that long. I mean, we're not here as long as we were in Hawaii, so I can tough it out. Pocosin. You should come out my way. Oh, tell me again where you live. Market. Where's that? Is that in Virginia? Past Manassas. Oh yeah, you're not far away from me at all. Now that's a little bit too far for where my husband works. That's the only reason why we moved here is because of his job. Alright, So remember how I said I start and stop on my sides, which doesn't look terrible, but that's going to be covered up. That's what the top stitching looks like on the bag. And then that's what it looks like on the inside. This row of stitching right here. So the bag is all done. We're going to make our shoulder strap holders that get attached right here. It's such a cute size bag. I have one of these. I think I have mine in the message print, but it's super cute, especially for like a date night. Unless you're going to the movies and you bring snacks in like I do, which I know you're not supposed to, then that's not big enough. All right, here are the pattern pieces for the shoulder strap holder. This is the Aries crossbody bag by Knotted Threads Co. This is what it looks like. I add a piece of Decaville Light to the lining. I just take the pattern piece, I cut out a piece of Decaville Light, and then I trim it down 1/4 of an inch all the way around. I adhere it to the back, and then I just take a scrap piece of vinyl, tape it down, and then sew it together, cut it out. That's not big enough for, no, it's not. I only take snacks in like every now and again. And when I do, it's usually like some candy that my husband likes that they don't sell at the movie theater. But every single time we go to the movies, so that's the only time I drink soda. So we order like a large popcorn, large soda, and go to town. Other than that, I'm drinking water. You need a big B for the movies. Yes, you do. Let me grab something to drink real quick. You definitely need a big B for the movies. But he likes Twizzlers. I know they sell at the movies. Like chocolates. He just likes all kinds of candy. How long does it take you to make a bag on live versus just on your own? I would probably say live adds about, I don't know, between 15 and 20 minutes maybe. Sometimes a half hour, depending on how much I'm running my mouth off. All right, so I just added a double-sided tape to the back. It's just taped down. I'm gonna go ahead and sew around the entire piece and then trim it out. I like to just, my sewing machine goes so fast, I just like to manually do the curved edges just to make sure I don't have any problems. See. All right, one is down, one to go. What kind of sewing machine do you use? This is a Juki 1181. And then I have a Juki 5550-6. Can you change your speed settings? Yes, I can make it go slower, but sometimes just the takeoff rate, even though it's not that fast, is just 1 or 2 stitches too fast for me. I can only slow it down so much. But like my other sewing machine, I can literally press my foot and do 1 stitch at a time. I love it so much. But that one is not an industrial for heavy duty material. It's a sacrifice I must live with. Lots of questions today. Yeah, I don't mind. There we go. That's the second one. And then we're just going to trim them. I'm just cutting, using the top pattern piece as just a guide, just to go all the way around. the same thing here. What is the hardest bag you make? The Leilani, which is this bag right here. I'll show you when I'm done if you remind me. There's a lot of pattern pieces. There's a lot of steps that have to be done chronologically to put it together. So I would say that's probably one of the more challenging bags. The Denver backpack is also a pretty challenging bag. Would you know me 6,600 and I can sew through this bag, no problem. My grandpa, four portable machines and a couple antique serger machines. I say antique serger machines, not serger, Singer, I'm sorry. Online all the time. Leilani is the best bag. It's totally worth the work. Yes, I agree with you, but that is just the most challenging one. I see Singer sewing machines, the antique ones, online all the time, and I am always seconds away from messaging them and being like, I can pick it up today. But I know if I bring another bag into this house, or another sewing machine in this house, my husband is going to freak. So when we get to our forever home, I will definitely be buying one. All right. The pattern tells you exactly where to place your holes. I don't know if you can see. I just have this little pattern piece that I cut out. Mark the holes and transfer them. I'm going to grab some rivets. I'm also going to mark on the bag. All you want to do is fold it in half. You want to match up your side seams. So this side seam and this side seam where they match up. That way you know exactly where your center is. Measure down from what the pattern tells you to, and then make a mark. And then we're going to poke that out with a hole punch. Where do I find the pattern? So this pattern is at Knotted, Knotted, Knotted Threads Co. If you just search Aries crossbody bag pattern, it should pop up in Google for you. Or have you not decided yet? Have you ever used edge coating for your exposed edges? I have not, no. I mean, I have, but I don't think that it's necessary. What state will be your forever home? Texas. Do you get your, yep, I have it custom printed. Thanks, Deanie. Deanie just posted the name of the pattern as well as the designer if anybody wanted to copy that. I don't know if you can. All right. I have my D-rings. So we're just going to slide those on. Grab 2 rivets. These might look like a large. Grab my smaller ones. The pattern says to use 2. I like to use 4. That's just a preference. So I'm going to mainly in Texas. We're talking about moving up to like the Fort Worth area. So I just poke that through that hole that I made on the bag, fold this down, put on the backing. Gotta run. Have a good weekend. Bye, Diana. There we go. So that's what the pattern says. I don't like the fact that the top can move even when it's set, so I just like to add another one. Like I said, it's just a personal preference, and I just kind of eyeball it. There we go. So that's just the way that I make it. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing over here. When does your husband plan to retire? Soon. Hopefully. Add a bag retreat in this order right now. Oh, fun! Who's your treat? I thought he was retiring after Hawaii. Girl, me too. Me too. He's been talking about retiring for like the last 7 years. And it still hasn't happened. So we shall see. All right, let me grab my press. I know I'm gonna have to switch out my dies because I was doing something fun earlier with different dies. Simple Plastic and Janine's Design. Do I make strawberry shortcake? No. Like the food or like bags? I do make strawberry shortcake food. My cheeks have been getting really red lately. I don't know what that's about. All right, let me set these. That is our bag. And then I'm going to make the shoulder strap and the crossbody strap. The crunch. Can you hear that? Can you hear the way it crunches? Alright, I do my shoulder strap a little bit differently than the pattern. I make it 24 inches long and 2.5 inches wide. Which I know some people will be like, that is such a narrow shoulder strap, to which I respond, yes it is. It's a little back. This is what it looks like when it's done. I don't think that you need a super big or wide shoulder strap. This is my personal opinion because of the size of the bag. So I make mine 2.5 inches wide. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. Missed it. I had to put my... What did you miss? The strap is just right. The whole video. Oh no. The replay will be up on my YouTube later today if you missed anything or if you have to leave early. All right, double-sided tape down the center. You're going to, the way that I cut mine, it gives it a finished edge when we're done with the shoulder strap. So I fold up the bottom and then we're going to fold each side into the center. I like to use a clip on the corners because that's where the stress points are. I just watched the replay of your Kiana. Which one? I feel like I've made so many Kianas lately. I feel like within the last month, it just goes in batches. Last week I did a whole bunch of big B's because I had a lot of custom orders. The week before that I did a lot of Kianas. My favorite way to make the straps, same. However, I will say that the creator of this pattern does give you a unique way to make the shoulder strap without doing it this way, but it still gives you a finished edge. The quilted one with the orange vinyl, yeah. Making your big B bag first, bigger bag, nice. All right, so that's what it looks like all folded up, and then we're just going to fold it in half one last time. Oh my gosh. I don't know why people ask to be invited to join the live as a host. I don't know what you plan on doing. We're sewing bags here. Sewing bag here, guys. My hand wheel feels really strange. Like it feels super loose and I'm really nervous. I don't know what happened, but I turned my hand wheel and it felt really loose. So I'm trying to like be gentle. That's so weird. Unless it's a sew along, that's weird, right? They do it to get more followers. It's a guy. It's a gentleman. I don't know who he is. All right, so at this point, you can attach your shoulder strap directly to the D-ring, just like that, and then rivet it in place. I like to make mine where the shoulder strap is removable. I have this bag, and I don't particularly care for bags that have a shoulder strap that's attached with a crossbody attachment, which mine comes with both a shoulder strap and a crossbody. I personally like to be able to remove my shoulder strap and just wear this crossbody if I want and not have to have this strap hanging down on my bag. So that's why I do it the way that I'm about to do it. But you can absolutely just go ahead and rivet this, especially if you just want to make this a shoulder bag and you don't want to add a crossbody strap. I like to explain why I do what I do, just because it might be a little bit differently. It's weird, we know your machines by the sound. I know it is weird, right? Okay, so I just have 2 rivets. I have a lobster clasp. It's so weird how you know your sewing machine just by the sound or the feel. I mean, her and I are tight. We've been together for many, many years. Like 8 years, maybe? Straps being removable is always the biggest plus. I agree. I agree. It is more hardware, right? You just need one of these little clasps. But to me, it's worth it. Here comes the crunch. Just finished getting my sewing room together after moving. Oh my god, isn't that the worst? I hated that. I was away from sewing for about 3 months too, and it was just the worst time. So they messed your machine up. Yeah, but it's fine now. Worst case, I have to buy another one. And then worst case, I just write it off on my taxes at the end of the year. But this machine should last for the rest of my life. That's what they're designed for. Crunch. Removable straps are the equivalent to pockets on dresses. Concur. Alright. So the shoulder strap is done. And then the crossbody strap is super easy to make. So here we go. This is what it looks like all done. Got the zipper opening. It'll hold still, I mean, it's a smaller bag, but it'll still hold a ton of stuff. I don't know. Like, that's a full-size wallet. It will hold that as well as some other stuff. That takes up about 3/4 of it. I wouldn't put this full-size wallet in the bag anyways, but I'm just saying. It holds quite a bit. Can you see my comment? Holly, I missed your comment. Thanks, Kimmy. I can see the comment there. Okay, so we have a, gosh, I always forget the name of these. Like, it's called a tri-slide glider. It's called a couple of different things too. You take one end of your webbing, you weave it through the bottom of the bar, and then you pull it up through the top. I'm going to double fold mine. So I'm going to fold it and then fold it down. That's going to just cover up that edge, and then we're going to sew a rectangle. I use my purse so much that my tag fell off. Oh no, when you do my customer. Yes, of course. I got your email the other day. I got you in mine, Holly. can sew like the X through it. I don't find that it needs an X, so you can sew, sorry, I'm doing it backwards. Connecting the corners. I don't find that it needs it. Again, there's only so much weight you can put in this bag. So for this particular one, I don't find that you need it. We're gonna take one of our lobster clasps. We're gonna feed this other end through it, making sure that our strap is not twisted. And then we're gonna go back through the top, down through the bottom. And that's where it gets adjustable. So you can make it longer or you can make it shorter. So this one is just suspended. This clasp right here is just suspended. And then we're going to sew this clasp down on this side. How long do you make the MAC? How long do you make the crossbody strap? Typically it's 55 inches is what I cut my webbing. And then we're just going to sew a rectangle on this side as well. I got you, Barb. I figured it out. Somebody asked me earlier if I make astronaut videos, and they didn't mean astronaut. I could not, however, figure that one out. It was ASMR. I sew back and forth about 5 times. No, you can do that. All right, so here's what it looks like with the shoulder strap, which is removable. And then it could just be worn as a crossbody, which that's how I personally like to wear mine. I have bigger arms, so even though this fits over my shoulder, I just like the I love wearing crossbody anyways. But that's what it looks like. And then of course you can expand this to open it up way wider. It will now go to like my knees. Okay, so that's how I make the Aries crossbody bag, putting this pattern on my list. It's a great pattern, it really is. Now, like I said earlier, it comes, this is a highly modified version. It is a very simplified version of this pattern. The original pattern actually has a zipper on this side, a zipper on this side. I don't know how it closes. I think it closes with like a magnetic snap. It has an opening in the center. So there's quite a few pattern pieces on the original just because it's made so much more complex, but great, right? All those extra pockets. So this is just a simplified way of how I make it. And all of the modifications that I made, I gave the measurements for all of those pieces. I really enjoy your videos. Nice to catch you live. Well, thanks. Thanks for hanging out. All right, so it comes with the crossbody strap, shoulder strap, and we are all done for the day. Crossbody strap. Yeah, I agree. Thanks, Nancy Bear. Thanks, Kathy. Got you. All right, thanks for hanging out. If you missed any of this, I'm going to upload it to my YouTube later on today. My YouTube is just Butter Bags. And I will be back live Monday. I have been going live on Monday pretty consistently, so I should be able to do that next Monday as well. Thanks, Sherry. Thank you, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks, Barb. All right, y'all have a great weekend. Bye.